Welcome everyone to another episode of the Queer Gossip Podcast, episode number 26. Today we have the self-proclaimed Northern Powerhouse herself, Freda Wallace, on to discuss the turf pipeline. Now, as you know, me and Max on our own have delved into the turf dump recently. Um, but obviously we're going to discuss the pipeline. Sophie is here now.
Yeah.
So let's welcome Sophie.
Woohoo! I'm here. Hello, lovely
All the way from
people.
Aberdeen. Turn your lights
Yeah,
off,
Yeah.
Soph.
all the way from sunny Aberdeen. It's actually sunny today. Woo! For once.
Yeah, yeah.
There you are.
So yeah,
It's
we're
such a
gonna
great summer right now.
yeah. So yeah, we're gonna discuss the turf pipeline. Obviously, we'll get Sophie's perspective on that as well, and we'll also be discussing the recent Bute House situation, and probably something else, some other bullshit that's kicked off as well. So yeah,
It always is.
yeah. So we might as well just get started. So yeah, turf pipeline.
Yeah.
Road.
So what a week. It
My
never
signal's
stops, does
terrible.
it?
I feel like I'm
You
gone
should-
back to
No.
the 1990s. It's like when I used to try
Oh.
and get on the internet when I
Yeah,
connection
Oh
is
my-
today.
yeah,
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness. This week though,
can't hear you.
honestly, how much punching down can the government do in one sitting? It's just it's like really? Really?
Considering
yeah,
It's
What's
my
been going on?
reaction to it. Ah,
as a person who's living in a country that doesn't actively want to kill me,
yeah.
actively, it passively, desperately wants to kill me, but like at least it's not active.
Yeah,
What's going on?
yeah. I mean, hopefully, Frida can still hear us.
Yeah.
I can hear
Yes,
you
I
now. It
wish
just
we-
keeps dipping right out. It's like being back in time.
Gotta love
I
it.
know, a
Um,
little time machine, little hop in my TARDIS.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah,
the
so-
internet used dial up.
yeah. Oh yeah, God, yeah. I remember that. Well,
Oh, yeah.
very briefly, but I remember it. Yeah.
I
But
have
yeah.
that. Like I'm
So,
geez.
from your perspective, Frida, and obviously, I will include Frida's blog in the description. How did the turf? What did you find out when you discovered the turf pipeline?
Well, I'm not sure what you mean by turf pipeline. When I first heard about the trans exclusionary radical feminist thing, I think I was kind of thinking that at first I thought perhaps they had a political point to make. You know, I thought there might be some kind of genuine concern or something about, you know, this idea of protecting lesbian spaces and things like that. Because obviously
That's what we get.
there are, and so yeah, there is, because initially those things came out of a feminist kind of place, really. But the way that it is now, it's got nothing to do with feminism. It's purely most of the people that are following these things are on the far right. And when I started to research it, it seemed like all the arguments were codified by a very specific group of lobby groups. So they found political capital in dividing the LGBT community. So the LGBT without the T. I don't know what you're doing, so but it's doing my head in.
Sorry about that. Just adjusting my camera. Is that better?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, so when I started to research, it was purely from the point of view of looking at the policies and the kind of information that the government was putting out. because I'm not particularly bothered about individuals' opinions. People can have whatever opinion they want to have about me is fine by me, because it just doesn't affect me. But it was the politicalization of it, so they would use it to create division. So a bit like the immigration.
Yeah, the immigration. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's very true what Freda says there. It's
Yeah.
yeah, it's all divisions, divide and divide and divide. And yeah, I can't believe it. I cannot believe the Scottish government kicked out the Green Party. Oh my goodness. We're in such a happy relationship with in the Scottish government in Holyrood. But no, we'll keep going. We'll keep going. We'll sticking to our policies. We'll keep going. The Scottish Greens have had some horrific dogpiling today from the gender critical crew, the gender critical cult. So yeah, they've gone a bit. They've gone feral, haven't they? They really have.
Oh yeah, they've been like in general. Like my experience is solely on Twitter, but because once I don't. Sweden is actually making weird progressive moves all of a sudden, so I'm lucky. But like on Twitter, they've been more and more vile.
Oh, they keep upping it. It's like you think they can't get any more vile or any more sort of depraved in their insults. And then I go on Twitter and it's just like 40 of the most horrific insults in my mentions. And I'm like, this is a great start to the day.
Yeah.
You say that sarcastically, but I actually played it. But I am a sick person though, so like my Jesus Christ. But I feel like I'm locked out of Twitter right now. Like both of my accounts are fucking suspended because apparently I'm not a nice person or something. I find myself lovely, but yeah, like they've actually been like able to give some bullshit back. Like that's a first. Like usually they've been completely incompetent at it, but they've gotten better, which is weird. Like this sounds like a compliment, but it's definitely not, because what I'm basically saying is they've grown to be bigger shitheads. So like fuck them all.
It's yeah, they're really getting upset because when people are not buying what they're saying, they're not like, because they want everyone just to kind of go with what they're saying. It's like, if you don't agree with us, then you're the enemy. So they're turning on a lot of like more and more cis people now. Like J.K. Rowling herself has just gone local. Joanna Cherry is just completely lost the plot too. She's just, both of them. They're just not even hiding their transphobia anymore. It's
J.K.
like
Rowling is the weirdest fucking, like her fucking cornrows blackface bullshit was stellar move, you fucking cunt.
I just find it so dystopian at the moment, because you've got, on the one hand, you've got like all these like us who are like really progressive, and we want like things to improve for people, for all people, and then on the other hand, you've got these sort of like socially conservative dinosaurs who just want to like have us all back in like 1950s happy days, or I don't know, like the honeymooners or something. And it's a bit like really, Even Patrick Harvey mentioned it in Parliament. He was like, "You're going to take us back to the 1950s, aren't you?" And that was directed at some people like Kate Forbes and their ilk, who are they're just TERFs. They're TERFs that have infiltrated Parliament, and they're determined to just push their sort of socially conservative, uber Christian ideals, and they just don't want trans people existing at all. But the fight goes on. The fight goes on. Yeah, the fight goes on with Swinny now. John Swinny.
Yeah, well, he's been, as you can imagine, because I read because I saw a Pink News article. That seemed to be my favourite go-to place now for anything to do with LGBTQ. Apparently, he's now been attacked because of what he said.
What did you say?
Because he's not backing
Like
down.
this
because he said
podcast is actually my main channel for news about trans people,
yeah,
which is fucking sad, I guess.
yeah. But also, I mean, oh yeah, and just to say that Freda will join us when at another time when the internet is back up.
Yeah.
Because
Oh, all the
it
best
was
for
worth
Dan getting the internet fixed.
it was worth a try, but
Yeah.
we'll still be back on
Sometimes,
at some point. Yeah.
Oh,
Force
But it's
majeure.
like, yeah, but it's like I also read that there are now something to do with sex education for under nines won't be allowed
yes,
or
yes.
something
He
like
made what he did is he appointed Kate Forbes, which was controversial because Kate Forbes is very much kind of anti-abortion, anti-LGBT. She admitted she wouldn't vote for same-sex marriage if there was a vote on it today. So she admitted that, but she got appointed as deputy first minister. And there was a big criticism from us, the Greens. But then and all the sort of gender critical, like, oh, good for you, Swinny, good for you, good for standing up to the gender the gender cult and all that nonsense that they say. But no, then there was he was asked another question, Swinny, in an interview, and you're right, it was relating to something to do with the education in schools, and he was like, oh yes, we'll still have inclusive education and all this, which of course is contrary to what the UK government has said today and yesterday, whereas they're like, no, we cannot have any teachings. We must ban everything, and it's like they're trying to like almost, like you said, Tor, and get another Section 28 through, but stealth this time, or not really that
Jesus.
stealth, to be honest.
but it's not, yeah, I mean, well, they say it's stealth, but it's not really stealth because if it was stealth, first of all, we wouldn't know it was happening, and they wouldn't fucking broadcast it. So how stupid is that?
Yeah.
We know that they're trying to bring back Section 28. We know we can see it. Trying to stop education, like on LGBT issues or anything, like ban sex education. Like I'm sorry, but first, like as you said, like sex education is important. Yeah, are we suggesting that all kids under 9 should learn about the in depths of sex? No, but learning the basics is important, and it's for
Yeah,
health.
it's really fucking important. Like, there's a difference between
Yeah.
learning, like, there's a difference between learning sexual health and like learning, I don't know, about fisting. Like the fucking world of difference there. I'm not saying like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, like because you want sexual education, you want everybody to learn about how to safest fist someone with your fist smeared in like fucking caustic soda. No.
Yeah, and it's like I'm not, and every parent, all parents have a right to take out their child if they don't want their child to learn it. They have that right.
Exactly.
It's not as if they're being forced into it. If they were, then that's totally wrong.
Yeah.
No one should be forced, but that's not what's happening.
They've
Every parent
always
has a right.
they've always
I
had
don't
that
know.
right. You're absolutely
Yeah,
right, Torrin. And they can opt out. Parents can opt out, and that happened when I was at school. You had children who would just go, like, do some other activity, and there's
Have you
nothing
ever?
wrong with that. But as you say, what is wrong is putting a blanket ban and just saying no. We don't want to
Uh,
teach. We don't want any children learning that at all.
I,
That's not
I'd
right
argue there
because,
actually
as you
is.
say, it's important for children to learn to understand age-appropriate sex education, so that when they're older, they can make better informed decisions. And
I'm
it's not like they're just going to be thrown out into the wilderness and make tons of mistakes because no one's taught them what to do or how to emotionally respond to sexual relationships, and that's where all the mistakes happen.
don't they think
And
like
that can
trans
be
people are
avoided if education starts young and is
yeah.
progressed throughout child development into adolescence.
I'm actually going to like
yeah,
say that I like depending on what level of sexual education, of course. But yeah, like just like evolutionary teachings. I don't know how it is in like uh, uh, Turf Island, but like we don't have homeschooling here really. Like there are some instances where
yeah,
we do allow that shit, but like fucking rarely. And also like we don't like uh, age appropriate sexual education isn't just important because they're not going to make bad like decisions later. I'd argue that depending on like there are certain things that parents definitely shouldn't be allowed to opt out of because that's like things that will prove that fucking child sexual abuse is going on at home like um and
yeah.
that kind of thing I'm very iffy about allowing parents to opt out of, but that's me speaking as a teacher. The second point, like these fucking turfs are pretty much all in a agreement that I and any other trans person is just a sexually confused man. Wouldn't it be better than to like teach them about like sex shit uh to not make them sexually confused? Like even from their fucking point of view, this is dumb. Like
Oh,
if trans people
absolutely.
are just sexually confused men, learn children about sex to not make them confused. Like what the fuck? I learned about sex through porn, and now I have to beat people to get off.
It's
I'm
crazy.
very not
I
confused though. I'm extremely clear on my sexual disturbance.
Yeah,
it's I just feel it's like they're almost like using it as an excuse just because they don't want they don't want trans people. That's it all seems like it's an excuse just to remove more trans people from other parts of society,
Oh, of
and
course.
they'll just make up any excuse really. Um,
Yeah, but
to drive us away. But we're not going anywhere. That's for sure. I am, and I'm here. We're here.
oh yeah,
We're here. We're
I'm
queer. We're staying.
yeah. It's like,
I'm
I mean,
I'm here until the
look,
drugs take me.
yeah,
That's or the cigarettes. Like either one. Fuck it. That's going to be my deathbed. I'm fine with it. Uh oh Jesus
yeah.
Christ.
Because I mean, like I say, we're not going anywhere. And
I'm
it's
having
like,
heartburn, by the way. I'm not having a heart attack. I'm sorry.
it's like, um, I mean, I remember, I mean, we can clearly see that they are trying to bring back a newer version of Section 28 it may be reformed in a slightly new package, shiny package. Oh look, here it is.
They've controlled
It's
F
like
the they've controlled F the document and just changed out like all the faggots for trannies instead.
yeah, and it's like, like you mentioned in your tweet that you did, Sophie, about bringing back segregation in 1950s and all that. This
Oh,
is what
horrible
it
stuff.
is all about. It's all about segregation. That's what it is. And there's one particular person in that thread who was arguing about it being about safety. Like, it's not about safety; it's about segregation. Right? They are trying to segregate us like they did with black people in the 1950s. Rosa Parks at the back of the bus.
Mm.
They're trying to bring that back.
It's what they want to do to trans people. Yeah,
Yeah.
they
I mean,
they want
we
to
have.
shove us at the back of the bus. Yeah.
Yeah, like we can see it because there's a well-known turf. I forget her name now, but she's the one behind the lesbian-only bar. So
Oh,
she
her.
was,
Yeah.
yeah,
I, I
you know,
wouldn't want to go there anyway.
yeah,
Yeah, fucking
where
let that trailer. I'm dying
where
for that to open.
yeah, where
I
in
actually have
order
a
for
bet
you
going.
to where in order for you to gain access or have a membership, you have to submit your DNA
Oh, jeez.
and then have that DNA sent off to make sure that you are who you say you are.
I would
Oh,
It's like
love
sounds like a
what
for
we
that to be how. I would love
what
for
a
that to
good
be how
night
someone
out.
finds
That's
out they're intersex.
do you know that when I heard that I immediately thought of Cyberpunk 2077. Is that
exactly.
what we're leading,
Uh,
is that what we're leading towards? A
Oh,
quick
dystopian
question.
future where we have to submit our
um,
DNA to access a fucking pub or a
I
club.
know. It's like
Is that
what?
game is that game worth playing now? Like I
It
know it's
Mm,
fucking
it's
broken when it came out.
maybe
Yeah,
if you're willing
I
to
just
put up with all of the frame rate issues, but
I'm my favorite game series of all time is Dark Souls. I have no problem with either bugs or frame rate issues.
yeah, well, then in
oh
that case, it is a good game. It is a good game. Yeah,
Yeah,
I haven't played it,
yeah,
but
cool.
I watched other
Yeah,
people play it. Yeah,
I
but
you
yeah,
know.
it's like
I've been
is that
putting it out, but I love The Witcher. So.
yeah,
Oh, which
I
is
play that.
good. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
good.
Sorry to derail the conversation. I just
No,
like
no,
yeah,
no.
that's
It's a good
right.
one.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's like, but what is this? It's like we're living in like I don't know, a Brave New World or 1984 or Do Sheep Dream of Electric Dreams or whatever. It's like when I was younger and I watched all these dystopian films. Still watch them, and it's like they're literally coming true, but unfolding before our eyes. And it's like you think, oh, surely things can't get more crazy. And then it's like you literally just open up your Twitter app, you're like, right, back to bed. within like 30 seconds, you're just like, oh, this
um,
is too much. Uh,
yeah,
it's
because
gone. It's gone wild. Mm.
the I mean, I liken it to obviously this weird, fucking dystopian, weird future where we all submit our DNA, we submit our whatever fucking else they bring up,
they do it.
right?
They do it. Fucking.
And
They want to do it. That's the
yeah, and it's like
saddest shit. Like,
what we are witnessing here is essentially a nine a realistic view of 1984 by Orwell.
Oh yeah, very much so.
That's
yeah,
what
And
we're viewing.
yeah.
they blame us
But,
though. It's funny the gender critical. They blame trans people for making our future dystopia. They think we're destroying society, but it's actually them. They're the destructive force. It's not us. We're the ones that are wanting to just live and be happy and let people be people. But they're like, no, you can't do that. You can't do that. Everyone's got to be miserable, and everyone's got to fit into a tiny little box.
I fucking hate
Yeah.
it as well because like 1984 is such a shit book. I'm sorry, I'm gonna come out and say that. Me
I
and my
prefer
boyfriend
Animal
was
Farm.
Sorry?
I prefer Animal Farm. I think that's a better one. A better George Orwell.
Personally, just Huxley is better than Orwell to me. Like Brave New
Uh,
World is fucking great.
Brave New
This
World is fantastic.
this is Swedish, like Karin Boye, if you know who that is. She's written a book that's called Caliquane.
You'll need to check this one out.
Yeah, I hope it's translated to English. It's really what I've read from it is really fucking good. I've only read excerpts, but like what that does is that it's imagine if Orwell understood that humanity is a thing as well and not just systems. Like it's 1984. If 1984 had any sense of humanity, apparently. So just tossing that one out there because it deals with like the people of the dystopian future instead of because like 1984. I don't remember the name of any fucking character in that book because there are no characters. It's not a book; it's a fucking thesis. Sorry,
it is. It's written very academically, isn't it? Yeah.
But the opening line is fucking great, except for in Sweden because we have the 24-hour clock system. So like the clocks were striking 13 just means that it's 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
Puts a whole new meaning to it.
Yeah. Like, oh, my lunch is over.
Yeah. Yeah. We have I was just typing in and we have Gillian Keegan here.
Hi, Julian. Hello.
Saying that gender identity should not be taught in schools at any age. Yeah.
Any age.
The
Oh my
education,
goodness.
relationships. Yeah. On relationships, sex, and health education was published Thursday. So,
gosh, it's like tell us what you really think.
Or so we can all.
Wow, it's all coming out, isn't it? It's all coming out now. All their true opinions and feelings are coming out.
It just boggled my mind.
Yeah,
it's a nightmare, isn't it? It really is. Such a nightmare.
So basically, for anyone who listens to this on the audio, the draft guidance for schools in England was compiled following concerns that children were being exposed to.
Oh no, we've lost our host. Oh well, hello, how are you?
I'm fine. I mean, like, I had a really bad case of depression last week. I was
depression sucks.
Entire week. Yeah, like it was like I do have clinical depression, but usually I can manage it. But I'm doing. Have I already said this on the pod? No, I said this before the recording started, so I can do it that again. I'm actually doing like a drug-free month right now.
Well done.
It's not because of addiction or anything. It's because the summer is coming. Like I'm 3 weeks away from my summer's break, and I'm going to be putting so much. I'm going to be putting so much fucking shit into my body during the summer, so I need like a month. Like I don't want to die from a cocaine overdose this summer. It's
good planning. It's good forward thinking. Oh, hello. We got two now. Hello. Yay! Back.
Yeah. So, but I'm doing fine now.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Well, I'm proud of you for starting. Starting's the hardest part of anything, to be honest.
I got so fucking tired when I didn't have like amphetamines.
Oh, depression is the worst. It really is.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Um,
But then I came back like with energy and started swinging on Twitter again, because I don't know how much of my Twitter shtick you've seen really, but yeah, I just swing like a fucking mad woman, and then I got both of my fucking accounts locked. So on Sunday I can tweet again.
Yay!
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
surprised I've not been blocked, to be honest. Honestly, I'm so surprised. I'm too patient. That's the thing, though.
I
Yeah.
think there were two. I think there were three tweets that did it this time. One of them was me telling someone. It was all to the same person, and there were the ones that got like, "This is too mean." The "this is too mean" comment from Twitter. Like, you're not allowed to say this. One of them was just like, she started bringing up grandkids not believing in trans people, and I responded with, "Well, your grandkids could die for all I care. I don't care about what their opinions to me about me are." Apparently, that was too mean for her. Also, I started like misgendering her because I genuinely thought it was a dude, and then it was really funny to continue after that, because I'm a dick. But and then I said, "Don't throw fetuses in abortion clinics," instead of "don't throw stones in glass houses," because I said she should have been aborted. And those were the ones that really like did me in on the second account. And I'm usually calm on my like backup account because I don't want to have both of them locked. But I don't know, I was in such a good mood and just started swinging. I was
What I
having
don't get
so
about
much.
Twitter, yeah, so what I don't get about Twitter is or X. I don't like calling it X, but what I don't get
No,
about
yeah,
it is you'll have some people who will like constantly like just tweet abuse, and like really
oh yeah,
disgusting things, right? And yet they never get suspended or their account locked. And then you'll get someone
yeah,
else who'll maybe do one tweet and then that'll be it. Their account will be suspended, and I'm like, that's like
yeah.
hypocrisy. Like, that's not right.
Yeah.
That's not
I
adhering to the
What
used
you
rule.
what you have to understand, and this is just my theory, but and I've actually heard this, that when we think of the big accounts, like
Hmm.
J.K. Rowling, we think of Lips of TikTok, and those accounts, like they are protected.
Hmm.
yeah,
They are protected by the CEO.
Oh yeah,
Right?
yeah. They.
So these accounts can say what the hell they want, and they won't get suspended, even though they should. They won't. Yeah,
Hmm.
it's people like it's people like Max or yourself or any other person. If we even say the slightest thing, even though they said far worse to us,
Hmm.
if we
And more
retaliate in
often,
any way, we're off.
I'm,
That's how it works.
that's
yeah,
crazy,
yeah, yeah,
isn't it?
absolutely. I'm just the one thing that I don't really. I think in general, I say worse shit to turfs than they do to
Yeah,
me. I think they deserve it, but like I
yeah.
actively go for the throat. Like I'm out for blood. There have been, but like I've been getting so fucking annoyed at people. Like people have once again started thinking that I'm an angry person,
I
which
get
like
that.
I'm. Yeah, no, but I'm aggressive. I agree. I agree with me being aggressive. Like, but
Yeah,
the way that I word things are so clearly meant to be
Hmm.
humorous.
yeah,
Like saying "don't throw fetuses in abortion clinics." It's clearly a fucking joke.
yeah.
But yeah, I actually had like a discussion with my boyfriend yesterday, because like one of the things that my friends say about me is that like one of the most brought up characteristics of me is my kindness. That I am exceedingly kind. Like I'm extremely like, and I don't judge people and blah 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 blah. And no matter what they
That's
enjoy or
that's
do
good.
and stuff. Yeah, and that's like one of the things that people like really bring up. And I was like, and it's so funny that the people on Twitter think I'm mean. And like, but you are to them. Like you're actually not being a kind person to the people you talk to on Twitter. Like, oh yeah, I have thought about it like that.
Yeah, they get upset when someone's mean to them, but they're being mean all the time.
Oh yeah,
The weird thing with me, whenever I interact with someone, whether if I see someone being dogpiled on, like I've seen you get dogpiled on, Sophie, by
Oh,
certain
pretty much
people,
every day now.
and I've came in because I wanted to, right, or wherever the
Thank
case may
you.
be. Whenever I interact with someone, and I have a sailor's mouth, I swear in real life, like I sometimes swear online.
Yeah.
And it's like, as soon as I tell someone to shut the fuck up, fuck off, or I use a c word, which apparently is offensive now, and I don't mean the cis word.
I was just about to ask you.
Yeah, I'm called aggressive, and I'm like, how am I aggressive? I told you at the very start that I have a sailor's mouth. I swear a lot. So how am I
Yeah,
aggressive?
you're really. I would say you really like. I am aggressive, absolutely. Like that is. One person called me defensive once, and I corrected them and just said, "No, I'm not defensive. I'm offensive."
Yeah.
Like there's a fucking difference.
Yeah, there is. And
But like,
don't get me wrong, right? Yeah, don't get me wrong. I can be aggressive when I want to be,
yeah,
but that's not
like in
the
general, I
tact
don't
I
say you
use.
are. No.
No, I'm not. I'm never aggressive. Not unless you piss me off to I actually lose my rag, or unless and even then it has to say something to really piss me off. But no, it's like, why am I going to lose my rag over you? No, but that's a
I get
tactic.
I get opinionated, but then
Yeah,
I always try and keep my cool because yeah
yeah.
I
We're
try.
all opinion. Yeah, we're all opinionated. We all have our own opinions. You know, they can. Our opinions can be formed by having discussions, listening to people, or if you're like me,
Hmm.
where I listen to what's being said. First of all, I keep my mouth shut. Which, if a lot of turf did that, things would be a lot better for them. But they can't.
Yeah.
I listen. I observe, and then because I have a brain,
It's a
and
good
I'm not
skill.
in, yeah, and I don't, and I'm not mollycoddled like a fucking baby. I form my own opinion. I interact with people in the community. I mean, for fuck's sake, me and Max interact once every week for an hour,
Yeah.
maybe 2 hours.
Yeah.
But I listen. I don't automatically think, oh, I know everything. No, I shut the fuck up. I listen. But they can't do that. So when I form an opinion,
Hmm.
or I form, or I make an argument that they don't like, they lose their mind. And
Oh,
then
they
when I tell them,
do.
to go fuck off, then they get even more mad. Oh, you're being aggressive.
Yeah, even
Yeah,
though
like they're being
they're
cunts.
the ones
Like,
that start it
Yeah,
all the time as well.
like,
They
yeah,
always
exactly.
start
and
the
like,
arguments.
there's nothing wrong with being aggressive to like. I'm not saying that you are, because I genuinely
Yeah,
don't think you are. But like, there's nothing wrong with being aggressive against someone who's promoting a fucking genocide. You dumb idiot. Like,
exactly.
eat shit and die. What the fuck?
Yeah,
I'm not going to. Oh, this is why. This is why I don't like. In general, I do agree that like there are certain things that you shouldn't say to people. Like, I do agree that misgendering is wrong in general, and especially against trans
yeah.
people. I do think that there is more leeway towards
Hmm.
cis people. I actually do. That's my opinion. I'm not saying anyone needs to agree with me. I'm a piece of shit. But like, and like, I don't think that you in general should tell someone to off themselves.
No.
But some people I kind of think would make the world a better place to not be in it. Like the people who are actively promoting a genocide, like them being not here would be better for the world. And I'm not going to, I don't know. But I'm a piece of shit.
It's when it's like the other
Like,
thing about
that's
gender
my line.
critical. The gender critical, they're not just like critical about trans people. They're often like racist, Zionists, all manner of
Extremely
like
fucking
horror.
homophobic.
Yeah, and you're like, oh, how can you be so many awful things in one person? And it's like you're trying to
Intersectionality works
understand
both ways.
them, but it's difficult. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's like intersectionality works both ways. It's like,
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
oh. I used to get into big arguments with them, but most of the time I just ignore them now, mainly because there's too many. It's like with just like I remember within like 10 minutes I had like 50 of them piling on me, and I was like, I'm just gonna make lunch. I'm not responding to all this. It's just too much.
The biggest dog pile I've had, like because I'm a small account that keeps myself small by being so fucking vitriolic that even people who agree with me won't follow. That's a feature, by the way, not a bug. But like the biggest was when I said that the only way that J.K. Rowling would improve would be through a bullet, and they fucking flipped their shit.
Oh my, I
Like,
can imagine.
I get that as well. Like what I said was genuinely a horrible thing to say about a person, but then it was such an easy fight for me because they kept calling it a threat, and like it can be many things, but it's not a threat.
It's
like it's a bad,
Yeah.
it's a terrible thing. It's me not wishing death even because like I don't care like enough. If I don't care if she becomes a better person or not, that's not my fucking goal in life to like be the moral. I'm not Jiminy Cricket for fucking J.K. Rowling. Like she can be a real boy if she wants to. I don't care. She doesn't need a conscience. She doesn't have one either. But like that's not my issue. But like it was a genuinely terrible thing to say to someone, but they just kept calling it a threat, and it's like, but it's actually not. And I got Twitter to agree with me that it wasn't a threat because I had my account fucking deleted by them then, and they said that you're not allowed to violently threaten people, and I just said like, no, this isn't a threat. It's a terrible thing to say to someone, but it's not a threat. And they reinstated my account.
Oh, that's good. I'm glad you appealed because it's like they always like if you say anything, they will mass report you, even if it's just something little. This is what I find really astonishing about the gender critical is how much of a kind of like mob mentality they have. They're like wolves. They're just like they see an opening and they just go for the kill every time.
They are wasps.
Wasp. That's a good analogy. They just don't hold back. And it's like that poor referee, can't remember her name, was Lucy, and
Lucy Cox.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she handled it really well, but that must have been so upsetting because J.K. Rowling took a pop at her, and it was dreadful.
She had done nothing, right? Like she hadn't even said anything around. Like what?
I know. Something got shared online, and then all the turf was piled on her.
And why won't she do it to me? I've been making. I have a few things that I like. I don't know what it's called in English, but we have the like standing epithets. We call them in Swedish at least. That's the direct translation. It's when you just put a phrase in front of the name of someone, like Big Hans Rick or something. And I have a few of those. Like I have alleged corpse fucker Elon Musk. is one of them. Every time I mention his name, that's how I say it. And then now I have known Holocaust denier J.K. Rowling anytime I say her name, because she just gave me that one.
Well, she's giving that one away for free, isn't she?
I literally had someone going back to the Holocaust denier Joanne. I literally had someone comment underneath my tweet or whatever it was that I said that sometime, saying that she never said that, and included a newspaper article where it had a headline of Joanne basically saying that she never said it, and it's like, first of all, are you fucking stupid?
Okay, then I would like
Of
to
course
say
she
that
said.
I
Of
have
course
never
she said
told
it.
anyone to kill themselves.
Yeah,
If we can just
she
do
did
that,
say it.
like, what the fuck? I don't do drugs. Like, what?
Yeah, it's
Can
like,
we just? What happened to plausible deniability?
Yeah, they never own their mistakes. They never own up to anything. They're always the good people, aren't they? They're always the goodies.
They're fucking
Yeah.
and
trolls.
what I have noticed in every single interaction or altercation I've had with any of these fucking clowns dressed in a fucking wig, Saints do is they come in with like a sneak attack of, oh, she never said it, then it will automatically devolve into bringing up children, which seems to be their go-to,
Yeah, they really like that.
or it's genitalia. It's
Oh yeah,
either
they
one or
love
the
to
other.
talk about. They love to talk about cocks and balls.
Oh, they project so much, don't they?
As someone, as someone, dive completely fucking melt down into a ridge field theft, and to try and make an argument, they brought up my genitalia. Not that it has anything to do with them. It's like, why are you bringing up my genitalia for? Why are you bringing? Why are you bringing up a child and my genitalia in the same sentence?
Yeah, that's fucking weird. That's a
It's
weird
just,
thing to do.
it's just, yeah. It doesn't even. It's not got anything to do with the conversation.
No, but
I had
again,
someone call me a virgin the other day.
oh great.
Yeah.
But again,
They're just trying to provoke, aren't they? That's it,
Yeah.
really. I think.
well, if they're trying to, if they're trying to provoke, they're not doing a very good job of it.
Yeah.
But
They
again,
just make themselves. They make themselves look awful. Yeah.
But again, they are. But again, they are still performing, still spewing this rhetoric of we are all sexual predators. And it's like, hang on a minute. Then, like, use your logic if you have any. You're the one bringing up children. You're the one bringing up genitalia. I never said anything of that. So who's being a predator now? But they can't find
they are sexual predators. Like they are.
And they're
That's
the
why
ones that attack as well. They're the predators because they're the ones that always go on the attack.
Yeah,
It's like,
and like
we're not doing anything.
Yeah.
And like I always, that's why I always like whenever they sexually harass me, I quote tweet it, and like that's one of the things that I will always quote tweet because like fucking hell, like that I see it as collecting evidence, like that, and when I actually have gotten mad, like the two times that it's happened, which both times ended with them deactivating, because I'm not funny when I'm mad. When I'm actually angry, that's not funny for anyone. Like, I go scorched earth, and I am hinged enough to actually like go litigious and break their fucking lives if I want to. And when they've realized that, they've kind of deactivated. Kicked the wrong tranny on this one, but but like, I know I had a point. But yeah, like the sexual harassment
He'll
bullshit.
come back.
The sexual harassment bullshit that always always earns a retweet because like I'm collecting evidence, and then they will say that they don't do it, and all I have to say is like, okay, but if you go to my profile and you just do a profile search of like sexual harassment and see anytime it pops up. And then they have to either lie and claim that it's not sexual harassment to talk about like the sexual like the genitalia of strangers and their sexual history or whatever, or they have to admit to being sex pests, and they never admit because they're all fucking cowards. And the running theme of my part of this is my fucking hatred for cowardice. But yeah,
Well, they always run away when called out. They always run for the hills. They never admit to anything. Yeah.
I was not just like they didn't say virgin. They said that I was a ugly man who didn't have any luck, and so I changed myself to a girl, and that didn't have any luck either. And it's like, you clearly don't listen to the podcast, at least, because there's like my body count has been mentioned several times, and it's in the 200s. It's like I'm a fucking whore.
Yeah, it's like, whenever it's like whenever they bring up grooming, and I use that in inverted commas, like, they don't realize, along with everything else that they spew, and I'm not saying I'm not saying I'm not saying that I'm an expert, but I've studied psychology a little bit. So whenever I hear grooming, I'm like, as someone who has a past of abuse, I know a little bit about grooming. They're being groomed, and they don't know it because they are being successfully groomed by these turf cults into believing what they believe.
I'm going
By
to
conditioning.
definition.
Like,
But they think
I just
that
feel
they think that because we are proud of who we are, we are we're either flamboyant, or whatever the case may be, and we're out and proud. Yeah, that we are somehow by virtue signaling that we are somehow by osmosis grooming everyone else in our wake. That all of a sudden we are like the Pied fucking Piper, really fucking clarinet, walking down the street with a mask behind him. Oh look, we're grooming everyone.
That's literally how they see us, isn't it? That's literally the image they have.
Yeah, and it's like that's not how it works.
No,
Like, we're not like, first of all, like, if you actually look at the Pied Piper, first of all, he's wearing tight fucking booty shorts, tight leggings, right? A tight fucking thing, and he's walking, and it's like, if you want to talk about grooming, right? Not that it signifies grooming at all. Like, no, we're not doing that.
No.
Like, and this is why they get so frustrated when you point out their misinformation.
Oh yeah,
but they double down.
They are fucking idiots.
Like, no,
I'm going to have to run to the toilet and have a cigarette for real quick.
Yeah,
so like I'll be back in like 2-3 minutes.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Enjoy the cigarette.
Like, enjoy my bookcase while I'm gone.
It's a nice bookcase. But yeah, they're the cult. I mean, there's no getting away. There's no denying they're a cult. I mean, they say they're not a cult, but they all spout the same slogans. They all like pretty much wear the same outfits. They all share the same memes. They all gather together in the same places. They all harass the same people. They they're a cult. They're a cult that spread across the internet, and they're trying to get their mitts into everything, from political policies to legal to legal stuff to schools to they're basically trying to just wreck the lives of trans people because of this unfounded hatred that they have for queer people. It's just ridiculous. But they use that. They say, "Oh no, it's us. We're the enemy. We're the cult." But in reality, it's just to deflect from them. They're the horror show. They really are, and they're like the wolves in sheep's clothing because they always present themselves as being pious and holier than thou, and we can't can't do no wrong, and then they go online and they just start spewing vile and abuse at strangers online. It's like I just don't get it. They're like, "Oh, we're nice people, but actually, if you don't support us, we're going to just make your life miserable because we're just going to shout and scream abuse at you all day long online. And we're just going to call you all the names under the sun and make up lies about you all and spread misinformation." And but what's really worrying is that the government buys into all that. Like Kier Starmer and Rishi Sunak, they actually get persuaded by these groups, and then they start coming out with the rhetoric too about biological women and all that stuff. And you're like, why are you saying stuff like that? Why are you parroting what the hate cult are saying? Why are you letting them brainwash you and condition you? Do you not have your own independent thought, and do you have to just buy into their narratives, their nonsense, their hate?
Because what we are seeing right now in the UK and probably in Scotland as well, is we are seeing the trickle effect of the US right wing politics transferring over to UK, and we are seeing it being adopted by the likes of our Prime Minister Rishi Sunak, Kier Starmer, Kemi Badenoch. You know, we've seen it through influence of Hilary Cass, Helen Joyce, all repeat the same thing. It's all repurposed.
Over and over.
Thing. They may cherry pick certain things, right, to structure it in their way, but it's still regurgitated rhetoric, and we are seeing it. You know, I mean, we only have to look at what's happening in the US, and it doesn't take a genius to work out that if what's happening in the US can happen in the UK.
Oh yeah,
and that
especially with the
can,
internet.
yeah, and that can spread to Scotland.
It's all over the place now.
It can seep in. I mean, these are the same people. Right? When I first heard this made me laugh. These are the same people who got upset. I think this was in New York or no, it wasn't. It was either in New York or Italy, somewhere. This kind of people got upset and being a fragile snowflake over a statue of David.
Oh my goodness, I remember that.
Because it was a statue of David, obviously sculpted, right? Showing that the perfect body from
it's cocked out.
Exactly.
And they literally had a meltdown.
It's beautiful. I mean, it's a beautiful statue.
Isn't that a Simpsons episode, like making fun of the bullshit?
Yeah, it was like way back in the 90s episode of Marge Simpson.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
her first going after Itchy and Scratchy and then realizing that, oh, we're not supposed to do this to art because they want to do it to David then.
Yeah, they were making fun of it back then about her
Yeah.
like social conservative ways, and yet they're still doing it in 2024.
Like
Yeah,
that's
it's
back
like
when Simpsons was funny.
yeah, and their argument was, if I remember correctly, because it was like probably years ago at this point, oh, it's offensive to kids because apparently what happened was there was there was a day out for school kids, right? And apparently this is where all this stems from. They got outraged by the statue of David, or because it's a statue of a guy with his dick out. It's
It's
like it's
art.
art, it's
It's a
history.
beautiful piece of art. Yeah, it's art. It's culture. It's
Are you
yeah,
really? Are you really afraid of stone?
yeah.
Where
They're such philistines, aren't they? There's no appreciation. It's just they're
No.
just like yeah. They're such dullards at times. They
Now,
really are.
now,
it's really
if
funny how
yeah, if that statue right was covered in bondage gear
Mm.
and was wearing a dildo, then maybe I could see where they're coming from. Maybe,
even then it's art.
but even
It's
exactly, it's art.
yeah, it's
Like
exhibitionist, but it's
Yeah,
still art.
yeah,
yeah,
I,
yeah, and
I
like art
maybe
exhibition.
yeah.
yeah, I maybe wouldn't like take a bus full of school children to see it, but it's
No,
still art. It's still culture.
yeah, because the thing
From
is,
experience.
that was a that was a part of their day out because
Yeah,
you exploring art or whatever it was.
yeah.
It's like
Jesus fucking Christ. I would
come on,
never take school children to a museum. I did it once. It was the worst fucking day of my life. Uh,
yeah,
It's
but,
education.
teachers who take their kids on like fucking school trips, no matter where, are fucking heroes.
Oh, they
I'm way
are.
too lazy.
They are.
I'm way too lazy
It's
for that.
stressful.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
it's like
Oh,
and every single second, it's like, please don't. Why are you running across the road? Like there are fucking cars coming. Can you not die while I have responsibility over you? Like,
Just
can we not have
please,
that on
please,
my
just
resume?
don't do
I don't want to have
anything.
killed my kid.
yeah. It's like talking
Just
of
stand there and do nothing.
yeah. I'm glad you brought up teachers because Kier Starmer, who's a complete utter waste of a human,
Is
there's
that your?
six new things that he wants to crack down on. One of
We
them
all
is
wants to do that.
he wants to crack down on antisocial behaviour. Okay, and he
Define it.
also
Fair enough.
wants to add 6,500 more teachers.
That's a what? That's an awful specific number, isn't it? And it's a really large number too. I
Isn't
have
it?
no idea where
Fucking
he's going to get them from.
yeah, because this isn't a profession that it's like running dry. Jesus fucking
Yeah,
Christ!
Yeah,
How
people
many,
people are
how many
leaving it in
people?
their droves because
Exactly.
nobody wants to be in such a toxic environment where there's like gender critical people screaming, oh, you cannot teach this, you cannot do that, oh, that boy should not be wearing a dress every 2 minutes. Nobody wants to work in that environment. It's like, oh, it's so
Hi.
toxic.
Oh,
I used to work
I do
I
love.
used to work in that
Oh,
environment.
I do love it though.
Uh,
I need to check something.
yeah.
Percentage
He's
calculator.
well done you though for working in that environment. You're a
Oh,
hero.
thank you.
he's
I'm what I actually am is a massive fucking language geek who desperately wants to work with language, and I do love playing theater. Like I go up and I play theater for my students, like an hour every day, like a few hours every day. I mean, like I love it, but yeah, it takes a special kind of personality disorder, I think. It's what
I need to
of
remember that quote.
did you say 6,500?
Yeah, Kier Starmer, 6 big pledges. I'll read them here. The first one is to deliver economic stability. That's how well that
Hmm.
goes.
Yeah, I've heard that
He
one
wants,
before.
the second one is to cut NHS waiting times.
Well,
There are
that would be
29.
nice.
Sorry, but there are 29,601 schools in the UK.
Hmm.
There are 570,000 teachers. He wants to add a percentage of that. Like he wants to add 1%. When does he want to do it? Where does he want to like fucking materialize a percentage of
Fuck knows.
like
What does he give a does he give a time scale, or is it just like it's just like open ended?
that's
No,
I know
he
that
just
1% doesn't sound a lot, but like
he
it is.
basically this is
It's
all.
ambitious.
Basically, he just said that there are six things he wants to do. He hasn't
Hmm.
given a time scale on time scale.
It's like his
I don't know.
manifesto. Yeah.
I want
Yeah,
to be immortal and able to levitate. I'm not like
yeah.
what the fuck.
The third
I
pledge
want cooked
is
food to be cheaper.
his third pledge is to launch a new border security command to
Okay.
cut the asylum backlog. Okay.
Oh, that's
Is that
to appeal to the right wingers, isn't it?
yeah.
Yeah.
4, set up Great British Energy.
Wow, that
Okay.
I didn't see that coming, but yeah.
5, crack down on antisocial behaviour.
Well, stop
Wait
spreading
a minute.
transphobic rhetoric then. Then there might not be so much antisocial behaviour.
Wait a minute. Isn't that the same crackdown on antisocial behaviour that Tony Blair tried to do? The
Yeah,
previous prime minister before him tried to do. Like, so it's the same thing. But all we want to crack down on. Well,
they've all tried to do it. Yeah.
yeah. And
But
the sixth one is to recruit
yourself.
6,500 new teachers.
so ambitious.
I
That's,
gotta do
that's
something now. I have
Yeah,
something that I need to like.
the issue didn't quite make it to the top of Starmer's pledge card, but the Labour leader still included a very specific promise to recruit 6,500 new teachers in key subjects to set children up for life, work, and the future.
I'm going to share something that is so funny with this in respect to this. Like I'm going to share the screen now because like if we just that should does that do you see this?
not
No.
yet, but
Fuck, I don't know how to. How do I share
The
this?
party said it will fund this through ending tax breaks. Oh, for fuck's sake! Here we go again. More tax breaks for private schools, which the Institute for Fiscal Studies think tank reckons would raise just over 1.7 billion a year.
oh, that's where they've got the figures from. It's a think tank, of course, the government think tank. I wondered why the figures were so specific. Yeah, someone's been punching the numbers for Starmer.
Well,
Okay,
yeah, you can't
I'm going
expect
to.
him to do it.
No, he's got to stand there, look pretty.
Torin, I think you might need to share this. I'm going to share it in the chat.
Yeah.
Like just open that and share the screen, and it'll be a really funny punchline to this.
Thanks, Max. I'm looking forward to this. The anticipation.
It is like a year-old article, but it is.
it'll still be apt.
Yeah.
Things don't progress that much.
we,
Oh, here it comes.
yeah, that works up well for you, doesn't it, Starmer?
Yeah, I remember seeing this. Yeah, like I was saying, that's why, because like it's such a toxic environment, and it's like, yeah, but hey
Like,
ho.
politicians ruin the fucking profession. I haven't read this article, I'm going to admit. I just thought that like the headline was really fucking funny in regards to like that was what showed up when I tried to find the number of
It's a
teacher
brilliant
students.
headline.
Well, I tried to
Yeah,
find
so
out how many are trying to become a teacher in England right now.
yeah, so basically, this article is from a year ago, but but it's still relevant. The
Yeah,
TFE
it's
said
so
that
much true.
despite the numbers leaving their job, almost 48,000 teachers joined the profession in 2022-23, up 2,800 from the previous year. Teachers in England are abandoning their profession in record numbers, according to official figures, with Labour claiming that
And
incompetent government policies were to blame. No, your incompetence is to blame, not the teachers.
and I was like that's people
Exactly.
abandoning the profession. It's not people like going into retirement or
Yeah,
like
taking a break.
quitting for any reason.
Yeah,
Like that's
yeah,
people fucking stopping being a teacher to do something else. Like
yeah,
Jesus fucking
Because I've
Christ.
had enough. Yeah.
yeah. The latest workforce survey to the Department for Education found that 40,000 teachers resigned from state schools last year, almost 9% of the teaching workforce, and the highest number since they began publishing the data in 2011, while a further 4,000 retired.
9% of the teaching workforce leaves the fucking profession, and he wants to add one, like, eat shit.
Yeah, that's huge. That's a huge number leaving. Like, yeah, he's gonna have such a he's still facing a shortfall. He's still facing a teacher shortage. Yeah.
Yeah, the survey found
That's
that
what I call professional security.
found that unfilled teaching vacancies were also at a record high, with more than 2,300 empty posts compared with 530 a decade earlier. A further
Wow.
3,300 posts were filled by supply teachers, 1,000 more than the year
My
before.
goodness.
Large numbers of teachers were missing because of illness, with more than 3
Yeah,
million working
stress.
days of sick leave taken last year, a rise of more than 50% compared
My
with
goodness.
pre-pandemic.
Yay, a Tory austerity in action. There you go.
Yeah,
Yeah. Oh, Tories. Just not thinking about the
yeah.
workers. Just thinking about the money.
And all the
Uh,
things that she
Yeah.
did, Thatcher fucked the kids.
no resources. Just let's just take everything out of out of council schools, give them nothing, and still expect the teachers to be there, happy, rosy, and teaching the kids. Uh, of course, there's no incentives to stay. They need to be given incentives. Yeah, it's like uh, there's no mention of paying teachers more, is there? Or giving them, I don't know, better sick pay. It's all just like, oh, let's get 1% more teachers. I'm like, well, yeah, where are you going to get these teachers? Because you've got to encourage people to want to join the
How
profession.
how shit is the teacher salary in UK?
That's bad. It's like only like
Because we have
it's only like 25,000 or something.
I have
For that kind
like
of job, it's pretty awful. Yeah.
I need to convert some numbers to see my like I have.
But
I think
but also, sorry to interrupt, Sophie. Let me go on to this. So
pounds.
this article is
I
of
have
this year.
36 a year.
I wanted to find out. So There's also another thing that we have to take into account as well, because this was from February this year. The number of children in England being homeschooled increased by more than 10,000 last autumn, with mental health being increasingly cited by parents as the main reason. According to official figures, the statistics published by the Department of Education showed that 92,000 children were recorded as being homeschooled.
Wow, that's an interesting figure.
Please,
A
God,
lot to read into.
please tell me that there are some fucking requirements for the parents to do this.
There is.
Oh, thank fucking
Yeah.
Christ, because there are like states in the US where people are just allowed to do it. Like, yeah, you're just allowed to teach your children that dinosaurs were giants.
No,
Yeah.
it's worrying, isn't it? It's worrying when that happens. Yeah.
Actually, and you know, especially in the UK, I don't know about anywhere else, but homeschooling is actually on the rise in the
Yeah.
UK.
Mm.
We
But
have
yeah, so 92,000 children were recorded as being homeschooled on one day last term,
This is
compared with
sizable.
compared with 80,900 at the same point in autumn in 2022. The
Wow.
government is launching a fresh push to improve school attendances in England, including a 33% increase in the cost of fines for unauthorised absences and a tougher line banning pupils from attending protests during school hours. The percentage of parents who recorded mental health as a primary reason for home education rose from 9% last year, so that was in 2023, to last year to 13%.
Wow.
so fucking weird.
Philosophical or lifestyle reasons accounted for 24%, while 40% were recorded as unknown. Other unknown reason, 1% of parents cited religion as their primary reason for homeschooling, while 3% cited bullying.
Wow, that's a big percentage for bullying. Wow.
Yeah, so according to estimates by local authorities, 126,000 children were homeschooled at any point during 2022-23, up from 116,000 in 21 and 22.
Yeah,
So,
something's amiss, isn't it?
yeah,
Something's amiss
so
in the system.
yeah,
Yeah.
last autumn, councils recorded 33,000 children missing education, compared with 24,000 in autumn 2022. Across the 2022-23 school year, councils recorded 117,000 CMEs at any point, compared with 95,000 the previous year. Basically, about 20% of cases last autumn were the result of the child moving out of the country or to another local authority, while 23% involved children who were waiting for a school place. About 44% of cases were for other reasons or not recorded. Just 6% of CMA cases were attributed to unsuitable home education. So basically, what Kier Starmer and his party hasn't figured out yet is that the homeschooling is on the rise, and it's going to increase further every year because
Mm.
I mean, let's face it, especially in the UK, our school system is fucked.
It's not great. I
When
will say that it needs so much improving.
we don't
But what
have
if you?
we don't have the funding. The teachers are underpaid,
No, but
understaffed,
Mm,
overworked.
why
definitely.
pay for something to work? Like
Yeah,
that's we have gotten our teacher salaries up quite a lot here, but like the schools are still underfunded like fucking hell.
yeah.
Oh,
My
It's
mom's
like
a
our
teacher as well,
yeah
and she's like
our
buys shit for her class.
yeah.
mm,
The thing
Personally,
is,
with her
right?
money.
Yeah, the thing is, our government had the bright fucking idea of, instead of having our teachers actually spend more time with the kids to teach them, they decided to give give the teachers more paperwork to do.
Oh yeah, that
So
No,
next
they're
time,
absolutely.
swamped. They're absolutely swamped in paperwork now. Yeah.
Yeah. And quite a few teachers, like I'm lucky that I am like that shit happens here as well. I kind of live a blessed existence. Like I can never leave the school that I work at pretty much as long as I'm a teacher, which is at least for another year. But like I will never be able to work on any other school because I don't have the fucking energy to do this again. I have meticulously and systematically broken down my head of school to the point where I get to pretty much do the work that I want to do now. Also, I've proven myself to be fucking a fucking god in the classroom to the point where like they can't fire me.
yeah,
I don't.
It's a good
I
place,
don't
it's a
really.
good position to be in.
Yeah, I'm. House. Like that's
yeah,
like the whole like get get away with shit because they can't really fire you. That's where I'm at. So I have. Uh, I take leave with like that time that I met Bret Easton Ellis. I think I talked about that on the podcast once. I actually like went in the day before and just said that I'm going to be off tomorrow and fire me if you want me to not. And then left and didn't show up tomorrow the other day. Like that's the place where I'm at. And I really don't do my paperwork that much, but who the fuck like I do the paperwork that is actually important, which is like 5% of the paperwork that we have. Like the grading stuff, yeah, fuck it, I'll do it. Like I even send like the weekly letter to like my parent, like the parents of my class. Like we all have our mentor class, and then I teach a bunch of other classes as well. But I have the class that I mentor, and like I send them like a weekly, honestly semi-weekly letter. But that is so fucking short and like non-personal. It's just a list of like bullet points by now. I've actually gotten it down to not even having an opening phrase anymore. Like I don't say hi. It's just point after point.
Your system sounds good though. It does sound better over there than it does here, I must say.
It actually like from what I've heard is one of the better like systems. And I work at a school that really trusts the teachers. Like we have so much trust. Like we're expected to know our fucking shit. And the bad thing about that is for the teachers who don't know their fucking shit because they can drown. But then again, those probably shouldn't be teachers. I'm sorry. Like it's really like not a profession where you can't afford to not know your shit because then you're going to teach children wrong.
Oh yeah,
like for
teaching.
them,
There's no margin for error in teaching. It's one of those professions where it's very much everything's got to be on
yeah.
point.
What's good is that I'm left the fuck alone. So that's good. Like I've had some minor complaints from co-workers. I have one co-worker who I still have to misgender because she decided to be a fucking cunt about like trans people.
There's always one.
She has. Oh yeah, she started talking about like how you need a doctor's, like the whole fucking doctor's note about being trans and shit, like because Sweden decided to not be cunts for once, and made it easier to change. Yeah, they made it easier to change your legal gender without like having to story and shit, which is great. Personally, I won't do it because I'm an anarchist and I don't want to put myself on a fucking list for the genocide.
I know a lot of people that don't do it for that reason.
Yeah, and like, but I'm not going to like. I'm happy for the people who want to do it, who feel the need to do it, and I get like, yeah, it's important for them. Like they don't want to see the dead name every time they get a post. I don't care. I kind of like my dead name as well. I can never say what it is. Yeah, like I can never say what it is because it's so specifically spelled that I'm literally the only person with that name in the world.
That's handy.
But mom wanted me to be easy to target. But like, then that colleague said like, oh, but they need to know and stuff like that. And I decided that, well, then you're a woman. Because I haven't seen a doctor's note saying that that she's a man.
It's like touche.
Yeah, and I've been doing this for weeks now, and she's gone to my boss to complain about it, and he is so fucking tired of it. And he just came to me like a few weeks ago, and just like, so I get what you're doing, but do you have any plans of stopping? And I'm like, no, not unless she provides a doctor's note. And he just sighs and like, she might go to HR with this. I'm like, yeah, but I would love to see her try to fucking defend that move after sitting there talking about misgendering people herself. Like, fuck her. And this is something where I am actually like, and like I am naturally now, like I'm not doing this for a bit. By now, I've brainwashed myself into considering her a woman. Like that's how fucking far this has gotten. But she hasn't gone to HR yet. I'm still waiting for it because I would love that hearing. I would love to see it. I'm going to be a part of that meeting, I guess. But I'll keep you updated.
It'll be an eventful one.
Yeah, it's these are like my psychologist says that I pick like very, very, very weird battles and just do them 100%. And like that's true. I absolutely do, but that's also how I keep myself entertained. Which is important to me because me not entertained is me shoving a fork into my leg. Like that's not a good thing. It's
a good assessment by your psychologist as well.
Yeah.
I like psychologists.
Oh yeah, she's fucking great. She's not saying like I should stop or anything. She's just like, do you feel good about this? And I'm like, yeah, I absolutely do. And then she's fine with it.
Yeah.
Sorry for the like 5-minute rant.
No, that's fine. No, it's like when you first mentioned it, I was just laughing because like at the sheer fucking stupidity of that of your colleague. Like
yeah,
really.
It's and she gets really like mad at it as well. Like, I'm a man. Like I haven't seen a doctor's note yet. And like, I'm sorry, it should be really fucking easy for her to provide a doctor's note about that.
Yeah.
Like easier than it is for any trans person.
Exactly. But yeah, going back to it's like teachers here, like the way the schools are run now, and with it being so heavily, so might be back on. The way it's heavily focused on paperwork is ridiculous. Not only do teachers work like 40-hour weeks, even longer, they're now having to do paperwork on top of organising what the students are going to learn the following week. It's like just a mess. But there's a school in the US. I can't remember the state, but there's this school that is being solely run by AI.
No.
Yep. It is totally run by AI.
That's so bad. That is so fucking fuck me. I'm sorry. I did not like that one.
Now there are still teachers at the school, but they have incorporated AI to teach the children.
But that's like that's not good. I don't want that. Like that's I'm sorry. I got so sad at this news. Like that's
And I saw a clip where they were being taught about Martin Luther King, but he was being told but there was an image of Martin Luther King, basically visioned through AI, and it was
oh
of
no.
Martin Luther King with an AI voice speaking.
Oh god fucking hell. This is the worst thing I've ever heard. This oh fucking hell. No, I have nothing. Why did everybody who had this ID, like the people running that school, should be fucking shot.
Let me see if I can. Um,
Yeah, pull up this nightmare. I live in a perpetual state of terror of this happening, and now it happens. Fucking hell.
um,
This is. Oh. I. Oh. This, this makes me load up the Molotov cocktail, I think. There's something I'm looking for, but I don't remember what.
so, school in US using AI.
Yeah. Can we? Can we like not make the world a fucking bad sci-fi film? Like fucking hell, how hard is it? Like, Jesus Christ.
I can't seem to find the clip, but it's
Yeah,
bad. It
yeah,
it's
yeah,
getting
yeah,
really bad. I mean,
yeah. We actually had like a
um,
talk about that at work, like AI, like how do we integrate AI into our work, and I got so mad that I left that lecture. And
Connection's working. Woo! I'm back.
hi.
Right.
I'm living through my worst fucking nightmare right now. Towards fucking hell.
Yeah, I just mentioned that there's a school in the US that that teaches their children through solely AI.
Yeah,
Oh
I'm
my
going to like
goodness.
I'm going to have to like go smoke another cigarette just to calm down from that fucking anger
That's
I feel right now. I'm
that's
sorry.
very
Yeah, no, that's fine.
It's an
I'm
existential
glad you
fucking
Yeah,
did it.
nightmare.
yeah.
Oh,
They were being taught. Doing a. They were being taught about Martin Luther King, and through the lens of AI,
Hmm.
and he was speaking but with an AI voice,
Oh my goodness.
and
Yeah,
and that's what they're being taught now. I
that's
do want
very
to, I do want to clarify just in case people might, correct me. There are still teachers at this school, but
using the AI.
they're using the AI instead. And the teachers, according to this article I read weeks ago, will step in if the AI is for whatever reason wrong, which it will be because
Hmm.
it's AI. But yet
Yeah,
there's a school in the
that's
US that uses AI. So
really
yeah, you could be seeing one of those schools pop up in your local neighborhood
wow.
sometime in the near future.
You get some uncanny valley from that.
Oh
Um,
yeah,
yeah, I've seen them use it at concerts as well. Like have like whole concert performance based around like AI sort of avatars of like dead musicians, and I'm like, wow,
yeah.
it's
There was a concert with the use of AI, and I think it was it of Michael Jackson.
yeah, that's when it
Yeah,
comes to mind. It springs to mind.
I'm sorry, but no. I mean, I like or what's it? I like. There's a song that I like. Crazy Train, Ozzy Osbourne.
Oh yes, yes,
I'm sorry, I'm sorry, but
from the Oz album.
yeah,
Yeah.
I've never been to a concert. Um, but if I was to ever go to an Ozzy Osbourne concert, the last thing I want to see is an AI image of him. Like,
Yeah,
no, can you not?
It'd feel underwhelming, wouldn't it? That is
Yeah,
my first thought. Yeah.
yeah, but yeah.
yeah. Like
So
the whole thing is that I want to see them live. Like I was, I think it was like our second episode. I was at I had just been to a punk festival in my hometown actually.
Oh, fun.
Uh,
Good stuff.
yeah, it was really fun. I broke my toe.
Ow.
While I was because I saw my favorite band like ever
They get
perform their
wild,
last
these gigs.
yeah, and they like I'm in the mosh pit all the time. But I
Hmm.
found like a way to get front row on my favorite band's final show by just loosening up all my muscles and like falling into the mosh
Oh,
pit. And then I got
oh,
tackled to
what
the
an
front stage.
experience.
Oh yeah,
I
and like if that had been
I
an
love
A,
moshing. It's great.
oh yeah, it's the best. Always when I have a limp at work, I have to like explain the concept of a mosh pit to my students.
Oh,
And like, do you do that? Like,
you just hurt for weeks after moshing. It's great. It's great fun.
yeah, and it's worse after I turned 30 for some reason.
Ah,
um, but like that whole like if that had been an AI, I would I would that would have been so sad to me. Like just instead of her being like no, I just touched
yeah.
my favorite artist of all time. Like I fist bumped her.
Yeah,
It was great.
you get the human touch, the human experience is lost,
Otherwise,
isn't it?
I can just watch a fucking music video.
yeah,
Hmm.
and
Like,
the reason why the AI thing was called intrigued intrigued my interest slightly is because we can have a discussion about AI, about hits, um, uses, about how it can be
Hmm.
used in a negative way. So
yeah,
you know, I think AI in certain scenarios can be used in a teaching setting.
yeah, sure.
There are that can be used to demonstrate certain things. But
it can also be used to find information. Like
yeah,
there are many uses for it. Like
yeah.
none of the
But
uses that people use for.
to base a whole lesson or an entire school day based on teaching, interacting with AI doesn't sit well with me because it just
Feels like too much.
gives me iRobot. It just gives me Terminator vibes.
Yeah.
No, sorry.
Yeah, there needs to be a bit of a balance, I find, there. Like, there's
And
just like, yeah.
And listen, we use AI every day, and we don't even know
Oh
it.
yeah. Yeah.
AI's everywhere now.
Yeah, we use AI
And it's not,
on our phone. We use it
yeah,
but the fact that we're not, but it's not being used like this.
yeah.
I don't,
Like when I do my videos, because I do those, they're fucking insane. But like when I do that, like because sometimes I have to clip my way, like I have to edit myself out of the background in order to do some of the effects that I do. Like make the background black and white and stuff. Yeah, AI helps with that. Like it helps make the lines a bit clearer when I have to cut myself out, because believe it or not, fucking making a mask that moves alongside me is fucking hard to do precisely, because I'm
No,
one
I
person
quite
doing
believe it is.
it. Yeah. But like I would actually fucking I would like I did actually get one. I did a lesson plan via AI, but that was to prove that it was fucking insane to do, because my students started like doing their papers in AI, which like all of a sudden seventh grader write with academic language. Yeah, yeah, I
That's
know what
another
you've done
giveaway.
now, you fucking moron. And like put like poor academic language used the wrong way and used in a way that I know, like AI writes in a very, very particular way.
Oh
It's
yeah, it's very
very
methodical.
easy to spot, especially when you're like, and I know my teacher's way of writing, like a student's way of writing, like that. I'm great at figure out finding patterns in
It
writing.
has their voice for it. It does. It has their own voice
Yeah,
for it.
yeah, and like, so to prove to them how fucking bad of an idea that is, I actually did a lesson plan with an AI.
Ah, it's a good. That's a good way of doing it. It's a good
Yeah,
educational.
it turned to absolute shit. It was the worst fucking class I've ever held. Like
Oh,
and that because it's
but at least you got the point across.
oh yeah, I really did. Um, that was the time when I also like stood in front of the class and said that like 7 students in this class has written their text by AI, and I'm not going to create a single fucking text until you remove those. And if you feel like, oh no, but I have to write it myself, then write it again. Like, no, you don't have to write it again. You have to write it the first time. Like,
True.
you're going to remove it by the next class. And if you don't, I'm not going to say what happens, because I'm not going to have to actualize it, because you're going to have done it. And they did.
yeah.
I'm, yeah.
Yeah,
That's a
Yeah.
because
good thing about having a rumor
yeah,
of being insane.
yeah, because
AI shouldn't replace real, like,
no,
actual work. Yeah.
Yeah.
because then what do you do if you're the teacher in that, if you're the teacher in that scenario?
Yeah.
How do you how do you mark that up?
Yeah.
No, like I'm not there to teach robots. I'm there to teach
Exactly.
kids.
Yeah.
And like I'm not
Yeah,
going to waste my
you still
time.
want the children to learn how to do it by
Yeah.
themselves.
I said that I'm not going to waste my feedback on fucking robots, because like they're not going to get it. Like
No.
No. But
Oh,
yeah,
And you're not. It's like not about proving if the robot can do it. It's proving if the pupil can do it. Yeah.
yeah. And they also
Yeah.
like, and even if like because they had used the same prompt and the same AI, like it was
Exact same problem.
yeah, and it's
yeah,
like yeah, the texts were different, but not different enough that it wouldn't like even if you hadn't used AI for this, you would still get fucked for plagiarism. Like
Oh
like
yes.
these texts are very similar.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. What's it nowadays? Of like passing the AI prompt under the table. You know, they used to pass cards to each other in school. Now it's like they're just
Oh yeah,
passing the AI prompt to each other secretly.
yeah. And I have colleagues who were like, but how will I know? How how will I know if my student have used AI? And like I don't know. Do they use words like determinism because they don't fucking know what that means? Like, just ask them. Ask them to their face. What does this word mean? This word that you used in this text multiple times. What does it actually mean? Tell me now. Because they're not reading it through that bullshit.
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
And
No, it's
they will
a
think
good
of like
giveaway.
spelling errors. Yeah, and they will like think of like, oh, add spelling errors so that it will say. But then the spelling errors are like, I'm sorry, no human would make the spelling error because it's
Yeah,
fucking bizarre. So yeah, yeah, no,
yeah.
yeah,
No, but the thing is, when you're teaching, you get used to seeing the way pupils write, so you can
yeah,
distinguish between that and something that's artificial.
and like
Um,
voice is really important for me. Like like literature, like textual voice, or
hmm,
whatever it's called. Like that's very important for me. Which means that I recognize it very quickly. I know exactly what words my students use. I know
yeah.
when they've cheated because of this shit. Like I'm fucking great at finding plagiarism. I did one. I did a class. The funniest thing was that the fucking assignment that they did this on was an assignment where they had to talk about like being critical of your sources and like not copying work and
The
stuff.
irony.
It's like,
Oh god.
are you fucking kidding me? Is this a joke? Like, if it's a joke, it's a funny one. But
Oh, that's
it's like the
funny.
bad version of the. Have you seen the like picture of like write an example of a risk, and
Oh
then the student have
yes.
just and then the student have just written this and handed it in. Like that's an A. I'm sorry, that's
Yeah.
a fucking A answer. That's a fucking perfect answer.
There's
Uh,
genius. Clever.
yeah, and like I would get that. That student would get full marks on that alone. But this is like the bad version of that, like the shit
yeah,
version of something great.
yeah. But
No,
yeah,
no.
so that was the school in the US. But let's get back to the shit show for a brief moment. Um,
Yeah.
Oh, back to the horror show.
like, I'm going to put this out there. I think I mentioned this before, but I don't vote. Um,
Yeah.
if you do, that's amazing. Right, you utilize your vote. Right, you go out and vote, and vote for the party who you think matches what you want. So I'm not gonna say don't vote. Go out and vote. I don't vote
Yeah.
because it's a
Do whatever.
complete fucking waste of time. Having said that,
Spoiling your vote's a good option too.
yeah, I don't
I'm an
I don't do
anarchist, but
neither.
like I'm not going to be. I'm not going to be the one to say I did vote last election here though, but
Well,
there was no.
Yeah,
well,
Uh,
I'll be voting for the party I'm in. So yeah, but
oh yeah, I mean I get that. You're
yeah.
voting.
yeah,
But
Um,
then yeah, the irony if I just didn't vote. But yeah,
yeah.
no,
But
no. But
um,
would be that
the
would actually
yeah,
it's hard for me to vote for a party that agrees with me because it's like there are very few anarchist parties, like
yeah,
groups,
true,
absolutely.
true.
Parties, can't really vote in anarchism.
I have nice conversations with anarchists. Actually, we have a lot of really good conversation. It usually evolves around usually evolves around Marxist stuff, and they're like, "Wow, it's nice talking to you about this." And I'm like, it's so refreshing because normally people just talk to me about like what genitals do I have, and I'm like, that's not relevant. How's that politically relevant?
I'm like, like we're good. We're good eggs when it comes to conversation, I find.
I know,
But I always look out of place in anarchist like groups because I don't dress like I don't know how to dress. I'm sorry, anarchists. I love you. I am one of you. But Jesus fucking Christ, get a sense of style, please. Like, holy shit.
Style anarchy.
Yeah,
It's
I'm a bit of an anarchist. I would say, like,
Yeah.
I don't go with the status quo. I wouldn't call myself a Marxist,
No.
right? But I am a bit of an anarchist.
I
But that's just me. But
I'm an eco-socialist. People are like, what on earth is an eco-socialist? It's like it's kind of like there's a leftist. It's a leftist with a social conscience, and it likes the environment basically. Yeah. So it's a little bit of there's a little bit of Marxism in there, but it's not as far over as say like anarchism, but it's a lot more left than say most centrist politics. Labour, what the heck has happened to them? They've just went full on over to the Tory field. Yeah.
it's like
Social democracy.
What a democracy we live in. Yeah, what a fucking fun.
I know, you got a choice between Labour Red and Labour Blue, and at least I'm trying to give people an alternative with the Green Party. At least there's something. But I completely understand why people get turned off politics because it's so toxic. It is so toxic.
I love politics, but I love political philosophy and stuff like my politics makes me fucking see red a lot of the time. Not in the like, but like in a sort of anger way. Sorry for doing the Soviet national anthem.
That was a good rendition because I recognised it straight away.
It's like
that's because there's like a it's an old meme, like it's an old Swedish meme where it sounds like it's sung in Swedish.
It does
like
actually.
It actually does. Yeah, it really does sound like it's sung in Swedish, and it sounds like they're complete sentences. Like it functions as a Swedish song phonetically. So that's why I actually know.
I mean, I can't say I don't like it. I quite like it. It's quite rousing. I mean,
but it is nonsense lyrics, but it's like his father be socialists is one of the lyrics that it turns into, and like it's a very old thing that I watched a lot when I was like 10 or 11 years old, I think. And it kind of like, so I know the entire lyrics, but only phonetically.
So it's like, I just think, the first past the post does not help. I have to admit, like that's the first past the post system is a big turn off for a lot of people because you want to vote for smaller parties, but then you're like worried that people worry if they vote for the smaller parties that they'll let the big party they don't want in. But then again, now the two big parties are the same, so it doesn't really matter. Vote for the smaller parties.
We're trying to get the
Yeah, I mean, that brings into question. Like, I don't know if the Greens Party considers themselves this, but I'm all for an independent party system structure coming in because I consider myself an independent. So I'll be more all for that. But the thing with our landscape at the minute, our culture landscape, if you want to call it that,
Hmm.
is we have two sides. We have Labour and Labour because they're basically the fucking same. They're basically twins at this point.
They are. They're like twins
Um,
separated at birth,
yeah.
loosely.
So do you vote? So do you want to vote for Labour or do you want to vote for Labour?
It's like,
Mm.
yeah.
It's
It's
like, and there's no real
Yeah.
options. I mean, yes, there are parties like the Greens Party and other parties that pop up and are trying to do their best.
they do
Don't get me
better at local level, though.
Yeah, and don't
Yeah.
get me wrong, there are politicians out there who are amazing, who they truly want to do the right thing and make this country, this world a better place. I completely get that. However, as with history, as with history, we see it happen all the time. Unfortunately, the bigger parties always come on top.
It's
Yeah.
the
And so,
corruption, isn't it? It's the corruption of
corruption.
capitalism.
Yeah,
Capitalism.
and so
I'm open. It's really funny because I'm open about being a leftist at work. Like that's not like it's not a secret. We don't
A
we
lot.
don't hunt we don't hunt communists here like we do in
Well,
America.
a lot of
Like,
teachers are leftists. Yeah.
yeah, because we're sane people. But yeah, and then like my students ask me like, oh, are you a part of the leftist party? Like, do you vote for the leftist party? I'm like, they're kind of too right for me. They're too right leaning for me. I have been chugging Red Bull, so I need desperately to go sort that out, so to speak.
yeah, no problem. Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
so. Yeah, it's like so. I know we joke, but you're essentially voting for the same party, and it's like when you have a party like the Greens Party come in with a completely different ethos, completely different structure. They are trying to make a difference within the
That's why we're
community.
hated. Yeah.
Yeah, and parties like that, do give us hope for a better future. It's just that we have to then contend with the bigger parties trying to, whether it's sabotage
Oh, yeah.
or pulverize their chances of getting into Westminster, a bigger constituency. Or you could have a situation where the Greens Party wants to remain a local party in a small district and just reach out, just bleed out into the wider community and do it that way.
Well, where we're focusing on is local council
Yeah,
elections and the Scottish Hollywood elections, because we can actually make good inroads into those areas and make real good change. We do still put ourselves forward on the national stage, but it's to get it's just to basically boost our rep basically, just to get a rep up, to get our name out there, and it's kind of why we do it. And the first past the post system, we're probably not really going to win much in the way of seats, but if we can get our voice out there, then as you say, it gives people hope. It
yeah,
gives people hope and an alternative to voting. council election, for example. And we did really well in the council elections. Woo, go us.
Yeah, you did, because it really gave Labour, and especially Rishi Sunak, a big fucking blow.
Oh yeah, I mean they weren't expecting that, so I was glad. We did much better than expected too. Although that said, I mean we're tenacious, the Greens. We're just like little bull terriers. We're just constantly we're just constantly tapping at the door, and they don't like that. The bigger parties, the bigots, they don't like that. They really don't like me because I just speak my mind and I just post real honest stuff online, and it shows in the way they reply to me. It's just the vile I get, the death threats. It's just terrific. Yeah.
I mean, it didn't help that they had some defectors leave Labour or Debs and join. Basically, the defector left. A number of them left the party to go somewhere else. So that's not a good look.
No.
I think this particular person has joined Kier Starmer. So yeah, good for him. Not.
Is the Green Party a newly formed party?
It formed in the 90s, but it's only really started. It's only really gained momentum since it went into government with the Bute House Agreement in the Scottish Parliament. It did a coalition with the SNP, which actually just ended about 2 weeks ago. But it's given them a stage. People know about us now. But I will say I'm really proud of the Greens today, though, because we suspended, the Green Party suspended a whole bunch of transphobic members in the party. We just got rid of them because they signed I think it was like a petition or a letter about making sex based on your biology, and the Green Party were just like, no, we don't want we don't want transphobic people in our party. We want to have trans people in our party, and we want them to feel safe. So I'm really proud of the Green Party for doing that. Actually, they even vetted me. They even vetted me to make sure I wasn't like a secret transphobe, even though I'm a trans woman. That's how meticulous they are. Yeah.
Gotta know that you're not adding a Blair White to the party, though. Like Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah, their vetting was good because they've had experience of people joining and then coming out later as transphobes, gender critical.
Yeah,
that's so damaging, especially when it's all about trans rights.
Exactly.
Gender critical is such a fucking joke phrase.
Yeah. If Labour and Labour joke did that, their party will be in a much better place, but they don't care.
They should be stricter, but they're just not. But they're strict on strange things, though. Like they're strict, like if someone was to be like, say, I don't know. Oh, if a Labour Party member was to go, I really don't like the monarchy, they'd get suspended for that. But if they came out,
weird.
Yeah, if they came out and they said, "Oh, no," it's weird. I know. It's double standards.
If they're actually, I feel like Labour after like the whole Corbyn bullshit. It's kind of like we don't want people to be actually left in this party.
Labour was great. He was proper left, and yet they just tarnished his name like nothing on earth.
Yeah,
like there's no more of a savage beast than the British. The British media, honestly, they are brutal. They're just absolutely savage when it comes to destroying left-wing politics. When it comes to destroying anyone with a social conscience.
And the thing is, as a person who really appreciates language, fuck, I hate how much I love how the Sun writes its fucking new headlines. Like, Jesus Christ, they are weirdly fucking funny. In like the darkest sense of the word. It's like, yeah, they're actually like, because our people, the people who write our headlines are, I think, actually brain dead. Like, genuinely, like the people who work with that shit here. At least,
I mean,
like, they're funny.
some
At
of the
least,
humor is clever. Yeah. I mean,
but
the humor in
like,
these papers is
it because it's like,
sharp.
but you can't.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to be funny.
The headlines are weirdly funny. Our headlines, but
Vampire Jessa, like that's
yeah,
fuck. But it's funny in the same way that I find Trump kind of funny, like actually humorous. Like his wordings are funny.
because
and I hate that so much.
Yeah, I find myself feeling guilty for laughing at like the headlines or quotes from like a right wing tabloid, but they are just so outrageous that you find yourself just like laughing at how just like absurd that they are, and just like you're like, they really said that.
Like, it's weird.
It's really weird. What did you think of? Obviously, I think following this was obviously after the Bute House Agreement. We then had Hamza Youssef resign.
Hamza Yusuf resigning was a shock. I did not see that coming. Like, he'd obviously been having like behind closed doors words with the more right wing of his party, going, "Oh, we don't want to be in a partnership with these Greens because of their gender ideology, and all they care about is woke, woke, woke." And you could tell. Then he was like, "Oh, we're breaking up with the Greens," and then it was like, "Oh wait, I shouldn't have done that because the Greens are actually the only ones that are going to actually back me up when it comes to vote of no confidence." So that didn't go well for Humza, but I'm disappointed that the Greens are out of the Bute House Agreement, but I still think though that like there was a lot of members within the Green Party that were sort of frustrated with it anyway. So it's probably going to bring more unity back to the Greens. Although the Greens have always been unified, but I mean, we'll be able to just like double down on being green now. I mean, it was good. It was good because it allowed us to platform a lot of policies, which I thought was great. Like, and we got some things through. Mostly like bus travel was probably the best one, and rail fares being cheaper in Scotland. But yeah, it was all very piecemeal though. Like the Scottish Greens wanted to do so much more left wing stuff, policies, but obviously they get watered down because the policy goes through Parliament, and then of course it gets amended and watered down again. But one of the things I'm really proud of is one of our MSPs set up a safe access zone bill, and that actually passed stage one. Almost 100% of Parliament voted in favour of it. There was a couple who didn't. Ash Regan was one of them, and one SNP MSP voted against it. But the safe access bill has made it through to stage two, so that's good. And that's just like people not harassing people when they go to like abortion clinics, like because what happens, and probably happens, it happens in lots of countries, is people like pro-lifers just camp outside abortion clinics, and they're like, don't do it, and they're like got these signs up and trying to like deter pregnant people from accessing the service. And but
They should
yeah,
have been fucking
apparently-
aborted. It's
yeah,
lovely
that,
when leading
Yeah.
arguments for abortion is trying to like attempt to sway people from it.
That's a big button issue in the US at the moment.
oh.
Which is being used as a political wedge.
Oh yeah, it's a huge wedge. It's a huge
Yeah.
wedge, isn't it? It's a huge political wedge. It's. But I'm glad they've got that through Parliament because it's
Yeah.
But they'll try and water it down because at the moment it's like no one's allowed to protest for like 200 meters of the abortion centre. But they're gonna the other members from the other parties are going to try and water it down. And I really hope they don't, because it's a good bill. It's very left wing, it's very left, it's very progressive, it's very woke, and I like that.
Yeah.
I like being woke.
Yeah.
Although I'm
Yeah.
always
I'm-
tired.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
It's like when I heard of Hamza Yusuf resigning, I was like, I didn't particularly. I likened it to our former female prime minister, who only lasted probably not even probably.
Oh, Liz Truss.
Liz Truss. You know, I immediately thought, much like her, even though I don't like her, I don't like what she stands for. Right, I think the reason why she had to resign, I think it was because one, she's a woman, and it's a boys' club. But anyway,
Very
when I
much
heard
so.
of
The
when I
Tories.
heard of Hamza, it was like he's being used as a sacrificial lamb.
Oh, no doubt about it. I mean, there's this like, it's people. It's a culture of exploitation, isn't it? That is Britain for you. Britain's just a culture of people exploiting people. It's a vicious culture in
Yeah.
the UK, and
But
no.
speaking of like female heads of state, we had the funniest fucking thing happen back in 2001. I don't know if you know about this, but we actually had our first, like we had, eventually we got her, but we had our first female like prime minister.
Oh, brilliant. Yes.
We got it after I went to, like, I started work at like 8 o'clock and we got her at like 9 o'clock that day. When I finished work, we did not have a female head of state anymore.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's the funniest fucking thing. Literally, I didn't know about this happening until it was no longer the case. But then, like, that was because there needed to be another vote, basically. But it's and eventually, they reinstated her. But that was like the funniest fucking thing ever,
My
because it's been a like hot button issue that we
what
never
drama.
had a woman as the head of state. Like, we're the progressive country, except for politics,
Yes.
which is a weird thing to say. But then it happened, and right away, like, no, but let's not do this. And it was like I was guffawing on the train home when I saw that happening. Like,
what a shock. Wow.
yeah, it was so fucking hilarious. I have to like, I'm sorry, but since grandma is not on drugs right now, grandma is really fucking sleepy and needs to go to bed. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but yeah, no, it's all right. We can leave it there anyway because we've been on for like over 2 hours.
That was a good chat.
Yeah.
Thanks for the questions about Bute House too.
No, it's all right.
Sorry, I just
no,
talk about
we can,
myself on these.
No, it's all right.
Oh,
We
good.
can,
Good to hear.
yeah. But yeah, so that will be it for this week's podcast.
Thank you
Sorry
both.
about, yeah,
Thank you.
to everyone who will watch this on YouTube.
It's been lovely.
Sorry about the what happened to Freda, but she will be back on at some point. We will be back next week with our
Oh,
usual, and then we're also back on the Monday following with another interview with a lawyer
oh, lovely.
to discuss what's going
Oh
on in
yeah.
America.
Oh yeah.
Which will be
Other
fun.
side of the pond.
Yeah.
No,
So yeah,
Freda's
And
Freda's awesome, and I'm glad she's
yeah,
back on Twitter.
yeah.
and
Well,
thank you, Sophie. Just as fun as last
yeah,
time.
Oh, thank
yeah.
you.
We yeah. Frida. Yeah,
Likewise.
she got mass spammed with reports, so she got her account suspended. But she's back now. But yeah,
Yeah,
thanks for. But I
she's a
appreciate.
fighter like us.
Yeah, she is. But yeah, thank you for coming on to discuss the Bute House.
Hmm.
I'm sure other things will happen within the next
Oh,
week.
never stops. Never
No,
stops. It's
no.
never
So
a dull moment.
no. So as always, if anything sparks your interest and you see something you want to talk about or that whatever, then do get in touch. But yeah,
Will
that'll be
do.
it. I'm getting hungry. Maxie is getting tired. Um, and so yeah, that'll be it. So
my
see you.
energy
Enjoy
drink
your
is out. I'm
enjoy your
Yeah,
chugging 6
evening.
Red Bulls
Yeah.
right now, and I'm
yeah,
still tired. It's fucking weird.
yeah,
But yeah,
yeah.
do come on again.
Thank you. Enjoy your evening, and I'll share it when it's up. And take care, everyone.
And I'll
Take
share
care.
it
Right,
on Monday when I have my Twitter account back.
yeah, right.
Woo!
Let me end. Right,
Take care.
let me end the recording before you head off because then it will save
Yeah.
the audio.
Ah, good
Uh,
thinking.